welcome back to the channel Knowledge Star, Continuous Knowledge Excellence. My name is Anshika Kaur. In this video, we will get to know about what is a Coacervation method. Now, our expert Professor Bohedar, who is associated with National Center Excellence in Agro Nanotechnology, Terry Daikin Nanotechnology Center, India. He has 31 years of academic experience in teaching and research. His area of expertise includes nanoscience and nanotechnology, nano-bio-interface science, soft matter science, polymer physics, biophysics. We'll explain to you in detail about this topic. So, to get complete information, watch full video without skip.
Today we are going to drive it further and go to the subsequent methods. Number 2, which is the coacervation method. What is the coacervation method? What happens is, if you have two complementary biopolymers, these are charged complementary biopolymers, which basically means that one biopolymer, if it is positively charged, the partner is negatively charged. So they form a pair of oppositely charged biopolymers. So these are called the charged complementary biopolymers. Now clearly, if these two such molecules are brought into proximity because of electrostatic interaction, they are going to form a complex. Now when this complex formation happens in the solution environment, then this is a hydrated complex because the complex will be surrounded by a hydration layer of the solvent, like we have discussed earlier. That provides stability to this complex and it stays in the dispersion phase as a component there. It doesn't precipitate out. Loss of hydration layer is always creates instability and precipitation of the material. So therefore, hydration is always a preferable method of keeping the solution and the dispersion stable. Okay, now when this complex is formed, if the size of the complex is on the order of 100 nanometer or so, then we have effectively made a nanostructure. Okay, so that is basically the principle behind this coacervation method. You have a pair of oppositely charged biopolymers, bring them together, let them interact, form a complex, and if the size is within nanometer range according to our definition, 100 nanometer size typically or less, then we have created a nanoparticle of the two biopolymers, which is a binary nanoparticle because it has got two components in it. So this is the basic principle here. Let me illustrate it a little more clearly. Now coacervates, see, normally what happens is when you dissolve anything in a solution, for instance, in the case, disperse a biopolymer in a solution, you get a normal solution where the single molecules are dispersed, or you can have a clusters or aggregates of these molecules dispersed in a dispersion. I can also cross-link these large molecules into the form of a three-dimensional network, which is a gel, or increase the concentration to a very high extent to the level of saturating the solubility curve. Then I have formed a melt out of it. So these are all three stable configurations of solution stability that one can achieve at room temperature. Now, in addition to this, what I am talking right now is the fourth possibility, where there are two biopolymers, charge complementarity is there, oppositely charged pair. They have interacted, formed a complex, hydrated, and they are staying together in equilibrium with the solvent in other components of the solution in a thermodynamic equilibrium. And that is the coacervate phase. Now, coacervates have been known to the science community for quite a long time, though it's not very commonly utilized or used method of making very different things, but has gone into formulations of pharmaceutical products in the last 2 decades or so. And just like I've said just a minute ago, if you have a biopolymer pair and you form a coacervate, that is called complex coacervation, because there are two partners are required to form the complex and hydrated material which remains in equilibrium in the solution. We can also have a situation where a long chain molecule like gelatin, for instance, which is a polyamphylite, which has got positive and negative charge segments randomly distributed on its backbone. Then when you try to bring these segments close to each other, so what we are seeing in the case of a pair of oppositely charged biopolymers will happen here, except the fact that the pairs are now segment pairs. The positively charged segments will interact with the negatively charged segments and also go into a coacervation phase. This is called simple coacervation. In both the cases, from a solution state to the coacervate state, the system has to be driven. So it's a controlled association process. Otherwise, the possibility of sedimentation exists. So therefore, it is necessary that we drive the process in a very controlled manner, then so that we are able to stop the reaction when the coacervates start appearing.
If you want to see these type of videos, then please do comment. We will definitely reach out to you. Thank you.
For more updates, subscribe to our channel, click the links shown on the screen to stay connected.